Welcome back, reality-based athletes and coaches. Thanks for joining me for another video today. Before we get started, I want to discuss briefly a couple of articles I've came across in the last few days, and that will help me riff into what I want to talk about today in this video. And so the first article was a blog I came across that said something like 70% of athletes are quitting their sport before the age of 13. And I thought 70%, like that's a pretty alarming stat. Second article I came across it was on Facebook. It was kind of circling around where a women's basketball coach had said something about, well, it's just different now coaching these kids. They're shopping around for schools, they're talking back to coaches, they're doing all these things, and she said they're just so entitled nowadays. I really do believe that engagement, giving these players everything they want without accountability, creates entitlement, and I think that's what she's getting towards. And we'll talk about that in another video, but today I really want to focus on, if you're an athlete or a coach that every once in a while you get kind of disengaged and you feel like, God, I hope the season is going to be over here soon, or sometimes you feel a little burnout in your sport. That's what this video is for today. And it's for those athletes that have that feeling. Basically, that feeling is a fantasy. It's a fantasy about quitting, and we'll talk about that more. Let's get right into it. With this quitting article, it got me thinking about, quitting in general, and it's something we've been really seeing, and I've been seeing with reality-based athletics, and it's these troublesome trends. And these trends are something we see as I go and I speak with a bunch of athletes, and what we kind of notice is this tendency to step down when the going gets tough. And so I'll put some visuals in this video today, but what happens is every single athlete or coach I ever talk to throws a couple trend lines up on the board, and I'm not sure which way it'll be, but those two trend lines are crossed. And the line going up is something like, harder practices. Coaches are demanding more of my time if you're the athlete. I have to take on more of a leadership role. We have, more workouts, weights, individual workouts, this and this and this. They want us to do more programs. The line going down, I have less time. I have less time to be a kid. I have, less time to enjoy other hobbies. I have less motivation, less desire to keep playing the sport. And when those two trend lines are in danger of crossing, whether it be during a game, in the middle of a season, whatever, every single human being I know fantasizes about one thing and one thing only, and that's quitting. We have quit, we have disengaged in our minds. And so we're just kind of going through the motions, not getting much out of practice. You're just showing up, wasting your time, leaving. It's the human condition, is when the going gets tough, is to try and find a way to get out of it or step down. And that's the quitting, that's the fantasizing about quitting. But as humans, as athletes, it doesn't feel very good to be in that spot. It's not our proudest moment. And so what often happens is you need to come up with a story to justify why you had to quit or step down for the rest of the year. And that story usually involves everyone else or your circumstances as being the reason for why you had to step down. So you start blaming, that doesn't get you where you want. You might even go out to other people on your team, and I've seen this so many times, and seek out others who are disengaged, who are not getting the playing time they want, or not as focused, and say, can you believe what they're having us do? They're having us do all these extra things, and they want us to have less time, and all this, and you get together and you collude, and you talk about all the things that are horrible about what they're making you do. And if it gets even worse, you might even come up with a list of all the things that need to change in your circumstances for you to be okay, for you to be able to keep playing. And what that whole process is called in reality-based athletics is BMW driving. And it's belly aching, moaning, or whining. Or you can insert your own curse word there. Blanking, moaning, and whining. And it's a natural thing to do when you've stepped down. You have to justify why you had to and get people on your side that are like, gosh, this is us against them. We're all innocent victims here. And so you might come up with that list. You take that list, you'll take it to the coach, take it to your parents, and you'll say, if you can get me all these things, travel in a bit more style, you need better food in our tournaments, if I can things like that, work out inside all the time, not like my second or third best friend. If you can do and fix all those things, I'll be able to perform at peak performance. So here's where I messed it up. Senior year in college, we're 4-13. 4 wins, 13 losses. I'm a captain. I got a buddy that's a captain. We are stuck, we got people disengaged. I think we had some people booking their plane ticket for spring break, and I don't know if you guys know kind of the timing with spring break and basketball season, but if you're doing that, You got people that are already, quit, disengaged. They had stepped down already. And so I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do what every captain should do in this situation. How about a players only team meeting? And I don't know if this is still happens a lot. I've heard about these like on SportsCenter, but we need a players only team meeting. We bring everybody in. And we went for about an hour. No coaches allowed. And what it turned out to be is I was like, what do we need, guys? What's going wrong here? And it started turning into like this picking apart about what we don't have. And everybody came up with this list. We came up with our list. So first we got together, we colluded about what was bad. So that was our BMW driving. And then that didn't quite get us where we wanted. So then we came up with the list. And I still remember to this day, and it is so painful. If my coach at the time ever watches this, he's gonna laugh because he's gonna remember it. And my buddy, the captain, and I took the list to our coach. And we were like, this isn't what we think. This is what everybody thinks on the team here. This is what we need. And so we went for 30 minutes with him and just told him if we get all these things, if we can, get some better food on the road, better uniforms, better shoes, if I could practice with my best friend and not like my second or third best friend, and all this stuff. We had this huge list about what would need to change in our reality for us to start winning some games. And then what often happens is that coach or that parent will take that list and try and set out to fix that list. And that's the problem right there, because what are the chances that they can take that list and make everything perfect for you and then perfect for other athletes and others, so everybody has this perfect, soft, safe situation to compete in? Not very high. 0, let's say. So when they give them that list, not much changes, then it comes back to you and you're like, see, I went to coach, he didn't do anything. So that justifies more BMW driving, gives you more gas for your BMW, which then leads to more quitting. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle, and I hope you can see it on the visual. And once you start doing that cycle, you'll start to get like really good at whenever things get tough, when the lines are crossing, and that pain point, it's crazy. That's your call to greatness speaking. It's your call to greatness calling out to you. So when you feel that pain point inside, like, God, this is overwhelming, whatever, it's a ticking, it's like a bell inside that tells you this is my call to greatness. Whenever the going gets tough, that's your call to greatness. I was so embarrassed now that I think about that I did this, but he did what every great leader should do, I think. He changed my mindset. He could have went out, took the list, and tried to change everything, and with the resources we didn't have, try and get all that stuff done for us. But instead, he changed both of our mindsets. He came to me, he's like, Alex, I haven't seen you in the gym as much getting extra shots up lately. And actually, I haven't seen you in the film room the last couple weeks watching film on who you're guarding. And it was like that moment where I realized that he was a great leader, because he could have taken my list and he could have set out to fix it for me. And then if it still didn't win, then we're in a horrible situation. Or he said that he asked those questions, got me to kind of self-reflect. And then I realized finally that it was only me. I need to take care of me and not search for these other things to get this all figured out. And so super embarrassing point for me, but whole process had happened. Troublesome Friends got tough. We were 4-13. We were losing. There was pressure. There was less time. We weren't winning. And I disengaged, stepped down, instead of calling, my team to greatness. Came up with a bunch of stories about why we had to and what was wrong and all that. We came up with the list. So we went right through it. This is my moment I screwed it up. And so I share that with you so like when this is about to happen, you can be that athlete, that leader that says, hold on guys, let's change our mindset a bit. Let's see what we can do to succeed anyway. So you can say, I can change all these circumstances, or if I can get some new people on this team, then we might finally win. Or you can take what you have there, change your mindset, and look for tools to be able to make it work and improve. And trust me, when it comes back on you, what can I do by changing my mindset and not setting out trying to change my reality, which you can't change reality, that's what is, you're gonna start being a much happier athlete. So if you feel yourself feeling a little disengaged, like you're just kind of going through the motion, be careful and look and see if you are at that point of disengagement. You're coming up with a story to justify why you had to, because it's not a proud moment. And then you might have came up with the list, or thinking about coming up with the list of what needs to change or what team you need to get to for you to be happy. That's not a very great way to compete. That was kind of my riff off that article I heard, because this is everywhere. This tendency to quit. It's when the going gets tough that is your call to greatness. It is not your easy way out. It's your call to greatness. So let's change mindsets. Let's keep going. Let's ditch the drama involved with all these things. Everybody says AAU's getting out of hand and sports aren't like they used to be and all this stuff. We can ditch the drama and we can turn excuses into results and we can restore sanity to our athletic lives. We just gotta stay reality based. Let me know what you think. Give it a like if you really liked it. If it helped you at all, if you want to talk about it, leave some comments below. I'd love to answer them. Subscribe. We're going to be coming along as we go here, and as people give comments, I can, work around the philosophy and see if I can help you, get that fast track to the results you want, to the happiness you want with your sport. See you next time, guys. Happy playing days.
So just because it's been said before doesn't mean that you don't need to hear it. And just because I'm not the first to follow doesn't mean that I can't feel it.